Have you ever wondered why so many people do everything right for their health, yet still end up with kidney problems years later? They eat healthy, they avoid alcohol, they watch their sugar, and still something quietly goes wrong. What if I told you the damage often begins in the very first hour after you wake up before your day has even started? I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and this is something most people in America are never warned about. Every single morning, your kidneys wake up under pressure. All night long, waste builds up in your blood fluids, shift toxins, concentrate, and the moment you open your eyes, your kidneys go to work at their hardest. Now here's the urgent part. The very first thing you put into your body can either help your kidneys recover or silently force them to struggle. What makes this dangerous is that the foods causing the most stress are often the ones people believe are healthy. Eaten at the wrong time, even good foods can slow filtration, increase inflammation, and add strain. Your kidneys were never designed to handle, and you won't feel a thing while it's happening. But here's the good news. This damage is not inevitable. There are simple, natural choices you can make in the morning that help your kidneys flush. Toxins restore balance and start the day with far less stress. Today I'm going to show you 6 common fruits that can do exactly that if you eat them the right way, and one of them is something millions of Americans eat every day without realizing they're using it completely wrong. Stay with me, because this small change in your morning routine could quietly protect your kidneys for years to come. Let's start with the first fruit, because this is where most people already get confused: pomelo. Many Americans automatically lump it together with grapefruit, and that mistake alone has caused countless people to unknowingly put extra stress on their kidneys. Pomelo looks similar, yes, but what happens inside your body after eating it is very different. And that difference matters far more than most people realize. I once spoke with a 56-year-old patient who had been doing everything right for years. He avoided sugar, rarely drank alcohol, and every morning he ate citrus on an empty stomach because he believed it helped detox his body. Yet his lab results kept showing early kidney strain. When we looked closer, the problem wasn't citrus itself, it was the wrong type, eaten at the wrong time. When he switched to pomelo, things changed quietly but consistently. Here's why. Pomelo is naturally high in vitamin C and antioxidants, which help reduce oxidative stress, one of the silent drivers of kidney cell damage. Every time your kidneys filter waste, oxidative byproducts are created. Over time, especially with poor hydration, this stress accumulates. Antioxidant-rich fruits like pomelo help neutralize that burden, allowing kidney tissue to function more efficiently instead of constantly playing defense. Hydration is the second key factor. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is mildly dehydrated, whether you feel it or not. Your kidneys are forced to concentrate waste with limited fluid, which increases pressure inside the filtering units. Pomelo's high water content helps rehydrate the bloodstream early, increasing urine flow and allowing toxins to exit smoothly rather than linger longer than they should. There's also digestion to consider. Heavy or sugary breakfasts can spike blood sugar and insulin, indirectly increasing kidney workload. Pomelo is light, refreshing, and easy to digest. Its natural fiber supports gut movement, which reduces the amount of waste that ends up circulating back into the blood for the kidneys to clean up later. The safest way to use pomelo is simple, fresh, plain, no salt, no sugar. 1 small bowl in the morning is enough to support hydration and filtration without overload. But here's the part most people don't see coming. Knowing which fruit is safe isn't enough, because another common healthy choice eaten next can quietly undo all of this protection, and that's exactly what we need to talk about next. If pomelo helps your kidneys breathe easier in the morning, then the next fruit we're talking about works deeper inside your blood flow itself, and that fruit is pomegranate. Most people think of pomegranate as just another superfood, but very few understand why it matters so much for kidney health, especially early in the day. A few years ago, I met a woman in her early 60s who followed what she believed was a perfect morning routine. Oatmeal, fruit, green juice, no junk food in sight. Yet she constantly felt tired, swollen by the afternoon, and her kidney markers were slowly trending in the wrong direction. The issue wasn't what she was eating, it was how her circulation was supporting her kidneys. Once we adjusted her morning choices and added pomegranate the right way, her labs stabilized over the following months. Here's what most people don't realize. Your kidneys don't just need water, they need strong, steady blood flow. Every minute, your kidneys filter about half a cup of blood. If circulation is sluggish, inflamed, or stiff, that filtration becomes less efficient and waste lingers longer than it should. Pomegranate is rich in polyphenols, powerful plant compounds shown to support blood vessel flexibility and reduce inflammation in the vascular system. Multiple nutrition and cardiovascular studies have linked pomegranate consumption to improved endothelial function. That's the inner lining of your blood vessels. When those vessels relax and widen even slightly, your kidneys receive better oxygen delivery and nutrient flow. That means less strain on the filtering units and more efficient toxin removal. Another overlooked benefit is how pomegranate helps reduce oxidative stress created during filtration. Kidneys aren't damaged by one bad day, they're worn down slowly by daily inflammation and oxidative pressure. Pomegranate helps quiet that process, especially when used earlier in the day when filtration activity is highest. The key is moderation and form. Eating the seeds gives you fiber to slow sugar absorption. If using juice, it should always be diluted, never concentrated to avoid overwhelming your system. But here's the critical part. Supporting circulation alone still isn't enough because there's another factor most people ignore: digestion. And that next piece can either protect your kidneys further or quietly cancel everything you've done so far. After circulation is supported, there's another system that quietly decides how hard your kidneys will have to work all day long: your digestion. And this is where peaches come in. They may look simple, almost too ordinary to matter, but for kidney health, especially in the morning, peaches play a role most people completely overlook. I remember a patient in his late 50s who kept asking me the same question. Why are my kidney numbers not improving even though I eat healthy? He wasn't eating junk food. He wasn't overeating protein. But every morning his digestion felt heavy, slow, and bloated. What we changed wasn't dramatic, we simplified his first meal. One of the first additions was a fresh peach. Within weeks, his digestion improved and so did the strain his kidneys were under. Here's the connection. When digestion is sluggish or irritated, waste doesn't move forward efficiently. Instead, toxins can linger in the gut, longer increasing the chance they leak back into the bloodstream. When that happens, your kidneys are forced to filter the same waste again and again. Peaches help prevent that cycle. They are naturally low in sodium, gentle on the stomach, and high in water, which supports smooth bowel movement and hydration at the same time. Peaches also contain soft, soluble fiber. This type of fiber doesn't scrape or irritate the gut, it guides waste out. Studies on gut-kidney interaction show that better bowel regularity reduces circulating toxins and inflammatory byproducts that the kidneys would otherwise have to clear. In simple terms, when your gut works well, your kidneys don't have to overcompensate. Another important detail is mineral load. Many popular fruits are very high in potassium and sugar, which can quietly stress the kidneys when eaten too early. Peaches stay on the lighter side, making them a safer morning option, especially for people over 50 or those already seeing early kidney changes. The best way to eat peaches is fresh and plain. One medium peach in the morning is enough. Avoid canned peaches or syrup-packed versions. Those cancel the benefits entirely. But here's what most people still don't realize. Even with hydration, circulation, and digestion supported, there's another hidden threat that can undo all of this protection, and it's something almost everyone eats without thinking, which is exactly what we need to talk about next. Even when hydration, circulation, and digestion are all working in your favor, there's still one silent pathway that can slowly damage your kidneys if you ignore it: your urinary tract. And this is where cranberries come in. Most people associate cranberries with bladder health, but very few understand how closely that's connected to long-term kidney protection. I once treated a woman in her early 60s who kept getting what she thought were minor urinary infections. Nothing dramatic. A little burning, a little urgency symptoms she learned to tolerate. Over time, those infections kept coming back. What she didn't realize was that repeated irritation in the urinary tract creates a perfect pathway for bacteria to travel upward, eventually reaching the kidneys. That's how kidney damage often begins, quietly, repeatedly, and without warning. Cranberries help interrupt that process early. They contain unique compounds called proanthocyanidins, which prevent harmful bacteria from sticking to the walls of the urinary tract. Instead of attaching and multiplying, the bacteria are flushed out through urine. This simple mechanism dramatically reduces the risk of recurring infections that place chronic stress on the kidneys. Medical and nutritional studies have shown that people prone to urinary issues experience fewer infections when cranberries are used correctly. And fewer infections mean less inflammation. That matters because inflammation is one of the slowest but most destructive forces acting on kidney tissue over time. When inflammation stays low, kidneys can focus on filtering waste instead of constantly responding to irritation. Cranberries also provide antioxidants that help neutralize oxidative stress inside the body. During periods of frequent infection or irritation, oxidative damage increases, and the kidneys are often the ones paying the price. Cranberries help calm that environment, especially when consumed earlier in the day as part of a kidney supportive routine. The key is how you use them. Most cranberry products are loaded with added sugar, and excess sugar places its own burden on the kidneys. The safest option is unsweetened cranberries or no sugar added juice diluted with water. Even a small amount can be effective when used consistently. But here's the critical warning. Protecting the urinary tract alone still isn't enough because there's another common habit, something people eat freely in the morning that can overwhelm the kidneys in a completely different way, and that's what we need to uncover next. Once the urinary tract is protected, many people assume their kidneys are finally safe. But there's another pressure point most people completely underestimate: hydration in the morning. And this is where watermelon plays a surprisingly powerful role. It may seem simple, even ordinary, but for your kidneys, especially after a long night of dehydration, watermelon can change how the entire day unfolds. I remember a patient in his early 60s who lived in a warm climate and swore he drank enough water. Yet his kidney labs kept showing signs of strain. When we looked closer, the issue wasn't what he drank later in the day, it was the delay in hydration after waking up. For hours, his kidneys were forced to filter concentrated waste with limited fluid. Adding watermelon to his morning routine quietly corrected that problem. Here's the science behind it. Watermelon is over 90% water, which makes it one of the fastest ways to rehydrate the bloodstream after sleep. When hydration improves early urine flow, increases allowing toxins, excess salts, and metabolic waste to leave the body instead of lingering in circulation. Multiple nutrition studies have shown that higher fluid intake supports kidney filtration, efficiency, and reduces stress on the glomeruli, the tiny filters inside the kidneys. Watermelon also contains lycopene, a powerful antioxidant known to reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the hidden contributors to kidney damage over time. By lowering that inflammatory burden, watermelon helps protect kidney tissue while supporting smoother detox pathways. Another overlooked benefit is digestion speed. Watermelon is light and easy to process. Your body absorbs it quickly without demanding heavy digestive effort, which means your kidneys aren't indirectly stressed by blood sugar spikes or sluggish metabolism early in the day. But portion size matters, and this is where many people go wrong. Even healthy fruits contain minerals like potassium. Eating too much watermelon at once can raise mineral load faster than expected. The safest amount is about 1 to 2 cups in the morning, eaten plain without salt or added sugar. And here's the turning point. Even perfect hydration isn't the final safeguard because there's one last fruit often ignored, rarely talked about, that may quietly decide whether your kidneys stay stable or slowly slide toward chronic fatigue. And that's what we need to talk about next. After hydration is restored and urine flow is moving again, there's one final factor that quietly determines whether your kidneys recover or remain in a constant state of low-grade fatigue. And that factor is daily mineral load. This is where pears come in, a fruit so overlooked that most people never realize how important it can be for long-term kidney protection. I once worked with a man in his late 60s who had stable kidney numbers for years, then slowly began to see them drift in the wrong direction. Nothing dramatic, no pain, no clear warning signs. When we reviewed his diet, the issue wasn't junk food, it was accumulation. Every morning he chose fruits high in potassium and sugar because he thought natural always meant safe. Over time, that steady mineral burden quietly exhausted his kidneys. Switching to pears was one of the simplest changes he made and one of the most effective. Here's why pears matter. Pears are naturally high in water and lower in potassium than many popular fruits like bananas or oranges. For kidneys especially, aging ones that balance is critical. Potassium is essential, But excess potassium forces the kidneys to work harder to maintain electrolyte stability. Pears stay on the safer side, making them one of the few fruits that can be eaten regularly without slowly increasing renal stress. Pears also contain soft soluble fiber that supports steady digestion and helps bind waste products in the intestines. When waste is removed efficiently through the gut, less of it enters the bloodstream, and that means less work for the kidneys. Research on the gut-kidney axis consistently shows that improved bowel regularity reduces circulating toxins and inflammatory compounds that damage kidney tissue over time. Another underrated benefit is blood sugar control. Pears release sugar slowly due to their fiber structure, preventing sharp glucose spikes that can increase oxidative stress and indirectly strain kidney filtration. This makes pears especially valuable for people over 50 or anyone trying to protect kidney function long-term. The best way to use pears is simple. 1 medium pear in the morning, eaten fresh with the skin on if possible. Avoid canned pears or syrup-packed versions. Those undo the benefit completely. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Even knowing all 6 of these fruits isn't enough unless you change how you think about your mornings, because the final decision that determines kidney survival isn't what you eat once, it's what you repeat every day. And that's exactly what we need to address next. If there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this: your kidneys are not failing overnight. They're responding to what you do consistently, especially in the quiet hours of the morning. You don't need extreme detox plans or expensive supplements to protect them. Small, thoughtful choices repeated daily truly matter. Even changing the way you eat fruit after waking up can reduce stress on your kidneys and help them do their job with less strain. If this video helped you understand your body a little better, please take a moment to save it so you can come back to it and subscribe to the channel to receive trusted, up-to-date medical insights focused on kidney health and healthy aging. I share this information because prevention is always easier than repair. And most importantly, don't lose hope. Your body is incredibly resilient. When you start treating your kidneys with care today, you're giving yourself a healthier, stronger tomorrow.